Welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. Welcome to the BB Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. Hey guys, and welcome to the Big Brother Breakdown with Joleen. That's me. I break down all things Big Brother. Right now, we are in full swing of Celebrity Big Brother Season 3. If you are on my channel for the first time, make sure you hit that like and the subscribe. If you are returning, hello Leen Team, please hit the like. Let's set a like goal of 300, okay? We'll be modest tonight, all right? 300 likes. Tonight, I'm going to be talking about episode 4 of Celebrity Big Brother Season 3, which aired this evening. And we'll be doing some live feed updates and spoilers. So welcome, welcome, welcome. If you guys want to support the channel, liking this video is a fantastic way to do it. If you want to support it further, I have links in the description, and you can see here my Cash App, Venmo, my Patreon, or you can become a member here on YouTube or send a super chat during the live. Thank you to everyone who's been following me on TikTok. I appreciate it. I'm trying to build my presence on the old talker, and I think I'm almost up to 500 followers, which is amazing. And I've been posting shorter updates and funny little videos about Celebrity Big Brother and other things there. So please, if you have a TikTok, follow me at Joleen Lunzer. And I would like to get to 1,000 so I can go live from there. Obviously, follow me on the other social medias, which are Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I'm everywhere. All right. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Leen Team. Yes, 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 yes. And we are getting more subscribers. We hit 22K. I have a goal this year of getting to, well, I did say 50,000 subscribers. But if we hit 30, I'll be happy. So subscribe. Thank you, Steven. I'm having fun on TikTok. It is a really fun platform that I want to play around with some more. All right. Okay. So we have so much to get into today. Let me know all your thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and opinions in the chat. So let's get started. Sunday night crew. Thank you, in my opinion. Love you right back. All right. So this episode picks up with Teddi Mellencamp leaving. She was evicted. We saw that last week. Todd is mad at Chris Kattan, and I talked about this in my live feed updates and spoilers video. He's just like, that's so Chris Kattan that he would pick me. These two, you guys corrected me. I was calling them boomers. I like calling them boomers because they're so cute. So I think Todd is a boomer. Todd is a boomer. He was born in 1965. Maybe he might be an old Gen X then. So I think they're old Gen Xers, but I'm going to continue to call them boomers, okay? So these two little sweet boomers should be teaming up with each other, but they can't seem to stand each other. So Todd is mad. He's also a little upset, obviously, that Cynthia voted for him. And you see that a lot on the live feeds because they had this understanding that Cynthia wasn't going to vote for him, but Cynthia didn't think the Manwan was going to be a purse that would be bequeathed, whatever the word is, to Todd Bridges. And then he would have to take Mariah off the block and put himself there. Thank you, Realification, for the first super chat of the live. Woohoo! Congratulations, Joleen, for hitting 22K subs. Thank you, Realification, and thank you for all your support. I got your email, and I appreciate you so much. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right. So the house guests are trying to figure out where the votes hit. As of now, Cynthia and Carson, they didn't realize that Shayna didn't vote with them. They just weren't, this is, again, these are the celebrities. They don't really necessarily know what's going on the feeds, or in the game, I should say, or on the feeds. They don't know anything. Cynthia doesn't even know how the live feeds work. She was talking to the live feed cameras, but talking to her family and like, hey, I would love to tell you what happened in the HOH competition, but it hasn't aired yet, so I can't tell you. She thinks she's sworn to secrecy on the live feeds, you guys. And it's so beautifully hilarious how wonderfully clueless some of these players are. And I do think that has an effect on why we aren't seeing this trend we've seen for so many seasons with Civilian Big Brother, which is vote for the house, vote with the house, do this or do that, because A, they don't know a ton about the game, and B, they're an older cast. So like I said, when you get older, you're like, get out of my driveway, don't touch my rocks. I mean, don't touch my grass. And you pretty much are okay with people not liking you, and you don't tend to follow along. At least that's how I'm feeling as I get older. But this cast of Celebrity Big Brother just has no idea about the game. And some of them do, but majority of them, no.
What's POV?
That's my favorite candy bar. So what's POV? Exactly. What's HOA? I don't know. Ask the celebrity house guest this season and they will tell you that's the HOH. Okay. So Shayna admitted to not voting with her alliance, the formation, or what's left of the formation, and voting with the house. As I just said, they weren't going to vote with the house. But we know she's not technically voting with the house. She has this alliance with Chris Kirkpatrick, which we saw in tonight's episode, started day 2. I was like, oh my God, Shayna Moakler is playing the game. She is playing the game. She is using her acting skills from Pacific Blue. My mother was deaf. That one line they always played on Meet the Barkers. I can't stop talking about it because it was always in the intro of that show. And I found it so interesting that is the clip they picked for her acting ability. But her acting ability is pretty great because she's playing down how much she knows about the show. And she's also, playing down her strategy. So yes. Okay. Who wants to see my HOA room or join my HOA? Nobody. That's who does. Okay. I could see her winning too. I feel like a darn boomer sometimes too, short stack. So that is no rip on them. Nana's a boomer and I love a boomer. Okay. All right. So Shayna's just like, we didn't have the votes. Like we didn't have the numbers, guys. So I had to do it. And you can tell Cynthia's like, oh, okay. All right, cool. Is that how we're doing it now? Okay. All right. Well, good to know, Shayna. And then, I didn't think Cynthia reacted that badly. I think her and Carson are finally, now realizing like, holy shit, we are basically on our own in a lot of ways when we thought we had, a bigger presence and more powerful alliance. But damn, Carson Kressley, you guys, these kiddos, these celebrities think Carson is just the biggest strategic mastermind of all time. Carson is serving looks. He is serving salad. He is serving pie. He is serving excellent DRs. He's serving entertainment. But they, for some reason, think he's this crazy strategist. And in tonight's HOH competition, we saw Carson like, oh, God. Oh, he's so freaking adorable. But Misha Tate, once Todrick, AKA Trick. I kind of want to call him Trick because sometimes it's hard for me to get out Todrick and we come up with names, but I don't want to be mean to Todrick because it's not like I don't like him, but I was calling him T-Rick. And then when I wrote it down in my notes, I was like, that spells Trick. So we might be calling him Trick. And then Chris Kirkpatrick is Kirk or NSYNC. Carson is serving everything and they are terrified of Carson. And Carson's just like, I love you guys, also this shirt, you can't afford it. They don't make it in your size. Like, I just love Carson and he wouldn't even say anything. He wouldn't even give shade like that. He wouldn't. This is not how he rolls. Okay. So Cynthia and Carson, they're like, oh no, everyone might be against us. And then Shayna goes and talks to Kirk, aka Chris Kirkpatrick, and she talks to Misha Tate. And they're in the sauna and she's like, I think Cynthia's pissed at me because, Shayna's playing all the sides right now. She is doing the damn thing. And, hold on, I got to pull this up here. Cynthia was a little upset. I don't know, that upset. And then this is her time, though. This is a strategic move as well, because this is her time to kind of prove to, even though Cynthia didn't react super badly, this is her time to act like she did to this other side of the house, Misha, and then her final 2 since day 2, Kirk, and to be like, hey, I went out on a limb for you guys. So you guys have to now protect me. And it's worked because if you watch the live feeds, they keep pushing this narrative that Shayna fell on a sword. And she did. She had to expose her game. And that was a big move with her vote. But I think she was able to save herself very nicely with Carson and Cynthia to the point where they're still talking to her. They still think they can work with her. And it's still open for her to work with them. And she feels the same way too. And we'll get to that when we get to spoilers. But I think she's doing a great job right now kind of balancing the two because she's just like, hey guys, we didn't have the numbers. Like I wanted to keep Teddy. I did, but it's freaking Todrick and Misha. Like, right? They're the worst, right? Not me. And you're like, yes, Shayna, in that smoky eye. Make them believe what you want them to believe. That's a big part of this game. All right. And she is a fan of Derek from BB16. And he kind of did that as well. You know, he was able to make people believe what he wanted them to believe and stay under the radar. So maybe she took some notes. I don't know. Or maybe she's just a natural. So now Cynthia, you know, her and Carson are like, okay, we're going to figure it out. Shayna and Kirk, like I said, made an alliance day 2. Shayna's a gamer. I think she's an actual like World of Warcraft first person shooter, Rocket Dog sus gamer. I think she really is. She was shouting out some kind of gaming league. So go Shayna. Todrick talks to Cynthia. Now Todrick's not as good when he's talking to the other celebrities, and it's just he thinks he's doing what Shane is doing, but he's not. He's not doing a good job. Todrick talks too much. Even Chada from BB23 tweeted today, like, Todrick, you need to zip it a little more, lay a little more low. Todrick is doing the most. He's doing all the backflips. He's doing all the kicks. He is just putting it all out there. And he's not able to kind of play in the middle or play both sides. His agenda is very clear as he's tried to kind of run both HOHs now, and neither were his. Okay. So he talks to Cynthia and he said he didn't want to work with Teddy, you know, because that was Todrick's big thing. He's like, I don't want to work with Teddy. I don't trust her. I love Misha. She's my girl crush. I want to have a million babies with her and watch her work out for the rest of my life. I want to do that twisty ponytail thing she does with her hair. I want to watch her eat spinach. I'm obsessed. So I don't know. He is obsessed with Misha and he didn't trust Teddy. And right when Cynthia did, I mean, Cynthia probably, who knows what would happen with the formation if Cynthia would have never just been like, and you can come in the alliance and you can come in the alliance. And I love Cynthia for that because she didn't know. She was like, oh, you want to work with us? Well, I'm already in an alliance with Todrick and Carson and Shayna. So sure. You want to come in, Mariah? You know, you want to come in, Teddy? Come on in. We got tons of room. Should we have everybody in the alliance? Is that how it works? No? Okay. And she did that very early on in the game. And ever since then, the formation was really never the same. Now, Todrick could have rolled with it. He could have easily leaned with it, rock with it. He could have done all that stuff, but he didn't want to. He was like, there's too many people. He was being a little picky, but I do understand to a point that it's never fun to just have one person in your alliance just inviting all these people a la bomb squad. And you're like, wait a minute, how do we get so many damn people? And how come no one can get on the same page here? So then Cynthia's like, I don't think I can trust Todrick anymore. No, you can't. You can't. You can never trust him. You can't trust him. He's doing a lot, Cynthia, and you can't trust him. All right. So then we get to the HOH competition, and it is Rotten Potatoes. And they got these adorable potato shirts. And they basically have 3 different stations, I believe, that they have to go try to score throwing, rolling a potato, a russet, a gold Yukon, a Yukon gold, whatever those are called. And right away, Mariah Nagasu gets a pretty good score. She's got 51. Todrick, a.k.a. T-Rick, a.k.a. Trick. Trick's like, I got this. And then he rolls the ball. And then he's like, oopsies. He buzzed in on a 0. You have to lock in your scores at each station. And he was not locking in his scores. But let me tell you, Trick, if you want to be on season 3 of Cheer, get Todrick because he was doing flips. He was doing twists and turns. He was doing everything. He did a pike kick, or I don't know what it's called. I just watched Cheer. I'm not good at it. And he was doing all the stuff. So, but HOH competition, not that good. Then Lammy comes in and gets a 61. And we're like, get it, Lamar. And Lamar was definitely feeling himself. He's like, I'm going to finesse this like I did on the basketball court. Hopefully the University of Rhode Island will hire me to be their head coach, Kobe. And that's kind of what he's been pushing for on the live feeds. He wants to work at the University of Rhode Island. I think he went there for a year and played basketball. And now he's trying to get jobs. And hey, that's one of the reasons these celebrities go on Big Brother is to promote their stuff, their stuff is themselves, you know, so they can get more opportunities. Thank you, Darren, for the super sticker. Appreciate you. Yeah, the game actually did look fun. I see some of you in the chat saying that. And I mean, it wasn't the worst game in the world, but it was so funny to watch these celebrities play because a lot of them were forgetting to lock in their scores. So then Lammy gets a 61 and he's feeling good about himself. And then Kurt comes up and he's like, okay, I've always been the fourth member in the band. I've always been the fourth member in the friend group. I have never been number one, and I want to be number one. Okay. And he rolls his ball and he ends up going to each station and he gets a 75. And this is life-changing for him because he is allegedly a super fan. And now, it's a big deal. If you get freaking, you get a HOH, you get a POV, like, and you're a fan of the show, that's a huge deal. So he gets a 75. So that's the score to beat. Shayna comes in, and Shayna, God love Shayna. I mean, she's great TV. She fell into the potato. She ran right into the potato. Uterus first, right into the potato. Thank goodness she's got all her kids already because she ran ovarian right into it with her ovaries. It was, wow. She hit that. And it was funny. And I feel like I would play this game like Shayna because you're going against, people who are like professional athletes well, I guess Misha didn't play, but you got Lamar Odom, you got, Mirai, and then, I don't take her as like a runner. I don't think she's running. So it was running very much like how I would run. Just like, and then falling into stuff. I can relate to the way Shayna and Chris Kattan played this game because I feel like I would play it very similarly. This competition, I should say. Carson gets a 0. Carson was the best. Carson, thank God for Carson. If we're going to quote NSYNC songs, it should be God must have spent a little more time on you. And when I mean you, I'm talking about you, Carson Kressley. I am so grateful you're on this damn cast. You are delightful, hilarious, and wonderful. I can't help it. And then he was just like, oh, darn. Oh, no. And everyone, you would think Misha and Kirk, the way they are talking about Carson, they're like, oh my God, he's a beast. He's going to get us all. He's going to win. He's going to cut our throats. And Carson's like, who wants pie? Like, he just like kind of dancing, floating around. He's like, oh, well, I got a 0. Anyways, hey, Cynthia, good luck. And then Cynthia comes out and she's like, oh, so I have to pull this whole train myself. Okay. Cynthia doesn't do too badly. She gets a 46. And then Todd allegedly wants to play Todd Bridges, but he decides to throw it because he's like, listen, Chris Kirkpatrick is my homie and we're kind of working together. So I don't want to win this. Now, if you watch the live feed, Cynthia Bailey was saying on the live feeds that there's no way Todd threw this. She said him and his vans would have loved to win this competition. She said he didn't know how to play it and he didn't do well at it. But from the edit, it looks like he threw it. But, I don't know. I feel like Todd he does have that little, boomer player energy where he might just be like, yeah, 3 is pretty good, right? But I feel like he's smarter and he did kind of throw it. Maybe Todd, could it be possible? I mean, I know I watched the live feeds, but could it be possible that Todd is playing more strategic game than we think? Now, I think he thinks he is, but I don't think he's executing it as well as he hoped to. And Carson's like, oh my God, he's throwing the competition. But later, like I saw in the live feeds, Cynthia Bailey was not having it. She was like, he did not throw it. He just failed at it miserably. And she likes Todd Bridges. So that was just her assessment. So then Chris Kattan comes and Chris Kattan, he is adorable. And he was struggling a little bit with running and that and kind of, falling around. And I already told you, Chris Kirkpatrick, the other Chris, the lesser Chris, no offense. He won. But Chris Kattan was trying his damnedest. I think he had all that cake in his belly because we find out later that he's a secret cake eater. He's just hiding cake in his cheeks. He's doing the chipmunk thing. He's waking up at 3 a.m., filling up his cheeks with cake. And then, he's like, who wants cake? Well, Chris Kirkpatrick wants cake. That's who wants cake. And so very adorable. And look at Cynthia Bailey at the top. Everyone's like, no, don't fall, Chris Kattan. And, Chris Kattan has his struggles with after having all those surgeries and a back injury. So the cake was one of my favorite parts of this episode. I know, Steph, same. I love Chris Kattan. Who knew? I thought he was going to be much more, maybe not problematic, but I thought he was definitely going to have a breakdown by now, just being a comedian and have that paranoid incident, Tom Green had. But no, he just sleeps a lot. And he doesn't just sleep a lot, you guys. He meditates. So his sleeping, he said, is his meditation. And I love that about him. So he has, so like I said, Chris Kirkpatrick, aka Kirk, wins HOH, and he is so excited and he is so proud of himself. And good for you, Nashville, Chris. All right, fine. I'll give you your props on that. I thought I did some screenshots of, okay, so then we have the late night eating. I don't know. It's so relatable. It is just so me. I feel like if I know there's cake or a dessert, a delicious dessert that Carson Kressley made, because he did, worked on his baking in the Pannkuchen, and now he's really good at baking. And if I know there's a delicious dessert my husband made, I will wake up. I will wake up from I will throw off my whole sleeping schedule and I will eat it until it's gone. Now, I was impressed that Chris Kattan let it last so many nights. I could pound that cake, okay? Like a pound cake. I could pound that thing down in one night. So I think, if anything, he was showing moderation. He was showing balance. He was showing, a little discretion. I would have bathed in that thing. That looks so good right now, but that could be because I'm trying to stay away from sweets. But I mean, then he had some kind of snacks in his bed, and we've seen this in the Celebrity Big Brother house. Cynthia Bailey has peanut M&Ms she hides, because we all know those are the superior M&Ms, the peanut ones. Actually, I think she has peanut butter ones, but I think peanut M&Ms are the superior ones. I think it might have been the edibles too, Gregory, because everyone in the house is just popping Eddies. So maybe it's the Eddies, but either way, he gets the munchies. He gets the 3 a.m. munchies. He's like, it's 3 a.m. I must be hungry. And baby, I said, baby, name that band in the chat. It's 3 a.m. I must be hungry because I'm Chris Kattan. So he's eating in his bed, which is, you could get bugs or you could just get full. You never know. Sometimes you have to take a risk, take a chance, and break away. He'll spread his wings and he'll learn how to fly right into a pan of cake. Thank you, Realification, for the super chat. The most surprising to me this season is I am standing Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom is becoming the Tiffany Pollard we didn't get. Even down to him sitting up in bed like this with his arms crossed with sunglasses on, paying homage to Tiffany Pollard. And I don't even think he knew he was doing that. So there's a little Kattan. It was a cool shot of him just at night with the night eating. And on the last night, they turned on the lights and he had to walk by Lamar Odom and he had to walk by Mariah Nagasu, and he's in his little underpants and he's like, I'm hungry. I'm eating in my underpants. The only thing that was gross. Thank you, Matchbox 20. You guys are on it. You little 90s nerds. I love it. Okay. But yes, Andrea, I agree. In the times of COVID and the Pannkuchen, it's probably not the best idea. Just grab a plate, Chrissy. Just grab a plate. Just take half the cake, cut it, put it on a plate, and then just eat it with your hands. Have fun with it. But no, I think, yeah, I don't know. I saw it on Twitter as well after all, the little comparison of Lamar and Tiffany Pollard. Okay, so Misha is very happy. She says that the athletes are still in control of the house, because that's her alliance she put together with the greatest athlete of all, Chris Kirkpatrick. She was like, I am not going to ask the Olympian, Mariah Nagasu, but I am going to ask the former dad of the band in sync, Chris Kirkpatrick, aka Kirky, and to be in the athletes alliance. So Kirk celebrates with both Shayna and Misha, his ladies, his number ones, more so Shayna than Misha, but he still is playing with Misha in this game. So they are in the bathroom. Let's see. I think I have some screen grabs here of, well, that's Joleen. Maybe you got to zoom out a little bit. Okay. Corner. There he is, hugging Misha. Misha picks him up, because that's what you do. You don't eat all this spinach and do all this workout and buy a doll to beat up in the gym like Misha Tate does if you can't lift dudes. That's probably the one reason I would want to be a cage fighter or work out and be really muscular. I want to lift men. I want to scare the shit out of guys and just go up to them and lift them up and be like, you want to mess with me? I'm going to throw you across this room. Okay. I think that is the only way to feel safe. Because I feel like if I just went up and started picking up dudes, they would never mess with me. I would never be a Dateline episode, right? Just showing right away my strength. Ugh, picking them up, dropping them down. I also might get arrested for assault, but might be worth it. That's all I'm saying, you guys. All right, we're having a good time. So he celebrates with his ladies. Let's see, I guess we don't have to see him celebrate with everybody, but Misha's so happy. She's just like, oh my God, this makes all the spinach worth it. This makes all the juicing worth it. I love it. And him and Shayna and their final two, just look at how happy he is. So happy. He had his Justin Timberlake day. He got to be the star. You get to be the main lady. I love it. It's his Beyonce moment. Okay. Lamar, though, isn't very impressed. They're like, Lammy, what do you think of Chris Kirkpatrick? He's like, I don't know. I'd rather look at Todd Bridges' legs. I would rather talk about how does Todd Bridges walk around the house with these little legs. And Todd Bridges does have some little leggies. Those are Yiddo Yeggies. He's got 2 different socks on, which is very Todd Bridges. That's so Todd Bridges. And he's got his little colorful underpants. And Lammy and Todd Bridges have this really funny rapport. It's almost like just 2 best friends who've known each other forever, or like a nephew and an uncle. They are just always roasting and ripping on each other. And it's really refreshing to watch. They just don't give a shit. There's just something about seeing people be able to be truly themselves and be really candid with each other and still maintain a friendship that makes me believe in the world again. So I love their little friendship. I love that they rip on each other. I mean, look at those. Those are Yiddo Yeggies. I wish I had those Yiddo Yeggies. Those are Yiddos. It's never been leg day for Todd Bridges. Never. He doesn't believe in leg day. He is anti-leg day. He doesn't celebrate that. He doesn't believe in it. So that's a little leg. Lamar Odom has bird calves. Well, I mean, top and bottom don't match. That's what Renee's saying. We love it. It looks like Photoshop. Yeah, but it's not. That's really him. Exactly, Sharon. I don't know what makes him an athlete. I'm not sure. I don't know. But according to Misha Tate, Chris Kirkpatrick is. Okay, so Kirk tells Misha, Trick, a.k.a. Todrick, and Shayna that his target is Mirai, and they are not happy. Shayna's like, okay, do what you want, but Misha and Todrick really want him to go after Carson. Because Todrick, it's so interesting with Todrick because Todrick has this weird relationship with Carson where you can tell he totally looks up to him. But I think part of Todrick, and he's trying to win the game as well, he envies Carson. He has jealousy for Carson. And we haven't come up with a word yet. I think Jelly Scoot was like, we need to come up with a jealousy for Carson. I'm just trying to think of some kind of C word. I know a C word, but I don't want to say that word because that's not how I'm feeling. But something that he feels like everything Carson is, like Carson's clothing. Okay. For example, he wears this designer. I don't know what the designer's called, but he was talking about it on the feeds. And Todrick was like, oh my God, that's my favorite designer. That's literally my favorite designer. So I almost feel like Carson coming into this show stole a little bit of Trick's shine. A little bit of T-Rick was like, well, I thought I was going to be the fanciest girl at the prom. And now I got this guy over here. So it feels as though also he's bringing with him some feelings he had from RuPaul's Drag Race where he didn't quite feel like he fit in as much. Like he loves RuPaul and he doesn't say anything bad about that, but he believes that, Carson would pick Ru, and I don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race, so excuse me if I don't know everybody's name, but would pick the other people over him. And it's like, yeah, he would. Also, Todrick, you're younger. So they've just known each other longer, maybe. So it's really, yeah. Carsony, is that car seat? Oh, like, okay. I like that. Todd has chicken legs. He has little baby chicken legs. They're so cute, little shrimp legs. I love it. But Trick is really envious of CK. Carson Kressley. He just is. But he does want to Kressley. All right. I like that. Krelacy. All right, we're working. It's a work in progress, you guys. You guys are doing great. It's me that can't read. I didn't want to have to come out this way, but I am illiterate. No, I'm not. But thank you. So and that's subjective. Braden's like, Carson's so annoying. Some people think that. It's not me. I want to marry him and have his grandbabies, but that's just me. So there you go. I like so many people this season too, Taylor. I think it's a great cast. I agree. I don't know why I said Taylor. Trick's true colors are showing. Todd Trick. I just gotta call him Trick because I always F up Todrick. Trick is jealous of Carson's pedigree. Maybe. I don't know. Mariah does need to win. Okay. So basically Misha's like, you need to go for Carson. And Kirk, aka Chris Kirkpatrick, is like, well, listen, I know he's bad for your game, but he's not bad for my game, because at this point, Chris Kirkpatrick's game, he's laying out like this. He's like, I want to kind of remain in the middle, me and Shayna, and then I'll let these two super duos, being Carson and Cynthia, even though they don't even realize they're a super duo, everyone's just putting them in this category, and Misha and Trick, they can go after each other. And then one of them can take the other one out for me and Shayna. So that's his game at this point. So that's the reason he's not going for Carson or Cynthia or Misha and Trick. Now, I actually I think it'd be a boss big move if he would have went after like Misha, or he would go after Trick or backdoor them, but I don't know. He seems to think it's too soon, but this game is going to be over on Tuesday. No, it's not Tuesday, but it feels like it's going so fast, you guys, because this is a condensed season. So then Shayna and Kirk talk about Misha's reaction. They're just like, oh my God, she really is pushing for us to go after Carson. But, Kirk is like, this is my HOA. All right. I pay the homeowners association up in that room. I'm going to call the shots. But if you watch the live feeds, is he calling the shots? I don't know. But he says, nope, I'm not going to do that. Then we see Carson baking. Obviously, we get the sleep eating from Catan we talked about. We see Kirk say to Lammy, do I put you up? And Lammy's like, I don't really care, because if you guys don't know, Lammy does want to go. He's kind of done his thing. He's like, I've done a lot in this house, I asked Chloe to get back together, told her I want to talk to her. I sharded my bed. I met Todd Bridges, and we are going to have a show outside of this. He said he's going to pitch a show with Todd Bridges called Willis and Lammy, and it's going to be a sitcom style, and it'll be based on a lot of the things they have in common, like sobriety or their battle with drugs, I should say, because I don't know if they consider themselves sober or what, because you just don't know. That wasn't a rip on them. It's like, do they still drink a little? Do they still have little edibles? Do they do this, that? It's different for everybody, but maybe just they don't do drugs anymore. So I was thinking I would watch that. I'll write for that sitcom. Okay. You can hire me, hit me up. And then Kirk talks to Misha again, just alone, and she pushes again, and it just doesn't happen. So we get to the nominations, and Kirk is like, I'm going after Mariah, because like I said in my spoiler videos, something happened between Chris Kirkpatrick and Mariah Nagasu that before the feed started, Mariah, and we'll get to that when we get to spoilers, she, according to Teddy, called Chris Kirkpatrick creepy, might have ripped on him for something else, and said a couple other things. So there's a lot of talk between the house guests, like, I can't believe Mariah said that about you, or this, that, or the other thing. So I think this is, this might come back and bite Chris Kirkpatrick, because he is making these nominations based on a personal situation, personal feelings rather than game. At this time, Misha has a shit ton of alliances and final twos with the dudes in the house. I mean, maybe pull the trigger now, because there's been talk. I'll get to that. So, yes. So he puts up Mariah and Chris Catan, and Chris Catan is like, what? Huh? Me? But I'm just spreading COVID through cake. I'm not even doing anything. All right. And that's where the episode ends. And now we have the POV happening tomorrow. I believe it's going to happen probably live. And then I think, because they didn't do it today. So now we'll get into spoilers. Spoilers. Everybody, we're going to do some spoilers. If you don't like spoilers, log off. I love that little video. Hopefully it's not as loud as it was before. Okay. So let me open up my live feed spoilers. So if you missed yesterday's, I have a video that I put out very early this morning telling you everything you need to know. We'll probably hit on some of that stuff, but if you want to see it in more detail, check that out. But as for Sunday, February 6th, it was kind of a chill day for the house guests because they did not do the POV. And they really didn't do much other than sleep and game a little and make forts, things like that. So they woke them up very early, but they had no intention of them doing a power of veto competition. So I think the house guests were just kind of like, well, then why are we awake? We are celebrities. And like Cynthia Bailey has said, I have it in my contract. I don't have to get out of bed till 10. Okay. You are so dramatic. So yes, I'm melodramatic. That's what all my poetry teachers said. Okay. You are so welcome, Gregory. Okay. So a lot of sleeping going on. Chris Kirkpatrick, I'm going to break down strategies. Chris Kattan's strategy right now, as you can see, is remember David's dead from the UK, Tiffany Pollard. Chris Kattan is dead, okay? Because this is what he looks like most of the times on the feeds. I don't know how he gets away with sleeping so much, but he is, especially after being put on the block. The house guests seem to be pretty well aware that this is what Chris Kattan does, is he stays in bed most of the day, and then he comes out late in the afternoon. At night, he comes alive with cake, but other than that, could be due to, pain stuff. I don't know. The celebrities for Big Brother, they have different perks, if you will, inside the house, and they're able to take naps, where if you watch civilian Big Brother, they'll be like, no sleeping, you poor asses. But when you have a little bit of money, a little prestige, you get to sleep. But it literally looks like Chris Kattan's funeral every day when he sleeps. He sleeps so sweetly like a dead person. So remember Dan's funeral? This is Chris Kattan's funeral. So Chris Kattan he just didn't understand Dan's funeral, which is one of the most epic, strategic moves in Big Brother history. He thought this is Dan's. Oh, that was what Dan did. He thought he just played dead, but that's what Chris Kattan's doing. He's just playing dead at this point. He's just not really coming out a whole lot. He's just playing dead. Why did they cut the feed so much this season? Lots of reasons. Number one, they always cut the feeds too much on Big Brother. It's annoying. Number two, they have to protect these celebrities and them from cancel culture and them from all kinds of stuff and their image. Otherwise, we would never get any celebrities to play this game. So the minute, because there's been some off-color jokes, okay? Lamar Odom, Todd Bridges, most of the house guests. It's an older crowd too. So the stuff that they're used to joking about isn't necessarily what you're going to hear Gen Xers. Gen Xers would cancel them on TikTok in 2.2 seconds. And that's not a rip on this generation. It's not a rip on Gen Zs. Sorry, not Gen Xers, Gen Zs. It's just how it is. It's very different. And so, when these celebrities come in the house, they have to kind of protect them to a point where, here's the thing. It's crazy because a lot of this, it's hard to be on this show. It's hard to have yourself taped all the time and filmed all the time. You're bound to say something cuckoo bananas. Now, I'm not saying you're going to say racist shit because we've seen that in the past, but say things that people might go, oh, that's fat shaming, that's slut shaming, that's this shaming, that's that shaming. These celebrities this age are like, I don't know. That's what we grew up shaming each other. It's like what my mom says when I try to tell Nana and teach her about this stuff. She's like, I've always shamed. I never knew a kid with a peanut allergy and I was fat once, so I can tell people to lose weight. It's just, that's how they grew up. Now, so I think that there's a point where it gets a little hard because we definitely you want to hold people accountable for, bad behavior and make sure we're not just letting people, say whatever they whatever they want if it like is very hurtful to people. However, there's a point where it can go a little too far where if pretty soon you're not going to have anyone that, especially celebrity wise, they'll be like, no, I'm going to, the court of social media, I think, is hard to come back from, and they'll take little, I see it happen on Twitter all the time. They'll take little out of context clips and they're like, cancel him. He should be over. Chris Kattan is 106. It's weird, but he was frozen with Walt Disney back in the day. And then they woke him up for this game. And so he's actually, I don't know if he's fully there. No, I don't know. I think he's 51. Okay. Sarah's saying he had a broken neck and a lot of spine injuries that led to drug addiction. So Chris unfortunately has had the hard life. And that's the thing with a lot of these celebrities, a lot of them have had hard lives. And that's, I enjoy, watching people that have had a life kind of like this and had adversity and things. They just make for very interesting characters to watch and hear from and hear their stories. That's why I like Lamar's story and Todd Bridges' story. It's all, very similar. So, they're probably saying stuff that people take, and totally that can happen as well. But I think they're just a little more protective of these celebrities. And I'm not saying that's right. I'm not saying that's wrong. It's just the way it is. And if they weren't going to somewhat protect them, then we wouldn't be able to get anyone to play this show. The feeds are live. They might be like a 7-second delay, which, most TV and radio has always been, or at least TV. So I'm not sure, but I think they cut the feeds too much. They're a little too afraid. And that in a large part is Big Brother's fault, because in the past, they've let people get away with so much that it's ruined it for a lot of people who just might make a joke that's like, oh, that's not that cool. Or, you shouldn't say that, I don't know. But they've let a lot of people get away with a lot of bad stuff. So now they're being looked at more with they're being looked at more closely. I hope any of that made sense, you guys. Yeah. As Whitney would say, it's not right, but it's okay. I'm going to make it anyway. Pack your bags up and leave. Chris Kattan sleeps like he is dead. All right. So beautiful little Chris Kattan. That's his game. He has a good relationship with Mariah Nagasu, but you're most likely going to catch him face in the cake, walking around his little undies, going potty, or in the clock room playing dead. And he said that's his meditating. So good on you. Good on you, sir. Now, we have to talk about Mariah Nagasu. We have to talk what's going on with Mariah. Mariah Nagasu, there's this whole 3 days and before the feed started that we didn't see where allegedly Mariah Nagasu was acting a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, according to a lot of the celebrity house guests. Again, her and Chris had some kind of not altercation, but incident. And then, allegedly she said Todd, she thought he was a little racist. And then she thought, Chris Kirkpatrick was creepy. And she was like, why do I have to go home when some of these people don't want to be here? And they said she cried for 3 days. This is all according to Teddy and a couple other house guests when they talk about it on the feeds. And they said, Teddy was saying she was inconsolable and she couldn't form a sentence. And then 3 days later, she was dancing and singing. And Teddy was like, it's not normal. Well, there's no such thing as normal. And also, we don't know. We didn't see it. So I don't know. We're just taking it by, she really hasn't talked about it a ton in detail. So there's this whole time we didn't see, which is why they should have started the feed sooner. Having us wait 9 days. It's just too much. Thank you, Taylor, so much for the super chat. So today, Mariah is headed in a path where I can tell that she has just had it with this house. Here's the thing with Mariah Nagasu before everyone goes and is like, she's weird, she's crazy. I don't think she's crazy, and I don't think she's weird. Is she a little odd? Yeah, but so am I. She's what you'd call quirky, okay? She's also 28 years old. I know that's not a baby, but it's also a far cry from the next youngest person, which is Todrick, who's like 36 or 38. So really, we're seeing this young woman in a house with people way older than her. Okay, they were on the feeds and they were talking about what were they talking about? They were talking about when there was only like 5 channels. Okay, so Chris Kirkpatrick, while Mariah Nagasu's in the sauna room, she's just been in the sauna room much of the feeds. hanging out by herself. She seems kind of annoyed with everyone. She was talking to the cams last night saying, I don't really have anything in common with, these people. I don't really fit in. Why am I even trying to stay? That's what she was saying. And then they would cut the feeds because I think they're very cognizant of maybe, making her look crazy, if you will. So while she's in the sauna room, she made a pillow fort. She took the rocks out of the little sauna. She was like, why are there rocks here? And then she was lining up the rocks. She just moved all the stuff around. And normally Big Brother would be like, don't rearrange the furniture. And she even said they're probably going to say not to rearrange the furniture while she was doing this. But they didn't say anything. And she just kept doing this stuff. And I will say this. Marai's story, I love one of the big things. I know everyone's all into strategy, but I really like the people aspect of this television show and watching people and almost studying them and being able to watch them on the live feeds 24/7 kind of because they cut it all the time. I will say that Marai, have all the empathy you have for Marai that you have for like a Britney Spears or a child star, because very similar to how these child stars, how Todd Bridges, how a lot of them were raised and the different challenges they went through in life is very similar to these athletes that started when they were a kid. So Mirai Nagasu is a Olympian. She's a world-class athlete. However, when you hear from her on the feeds, when she talks about her relationship with her parents, she says, I don't really talk to them very much. They raised me to be independent and they wanted a better life for me. So we just don't really talk. And immediately I go to the same thing that happens with these child stars is they kind of push these kids off, these prodigies, if you will, and athletes. And we've seen this with gymnasts in the past and figure skaters and any kind of, to get to the level Mirai Nagasu is at, you have to give up a lot in life. You have to give up normalcy. You train all the time. You're around adults. You're just not being social like you should as a kid. And it's the same thing for child stars or superstars or pop stars or things like that. So I feel, and I might be projecting and reading too much into it, but just from her talking, I get like an immense amount of sadness from Mirai at times. And I think that I've said this before. Yep. Mirai basically raised herself and you give up childhood. I said this before. I think that now I forgot what I was going to say. Okay, thank you. Yeah, she gave so much to her sport. There isn't much left for you. Okay, so here's what I was going to say. When you go in this house, the Big Brother house, we forget when we watch and we judge, and I do because I'm providing commentary and I'm always like, ripping on him comedy. But then I also still want to have somewhat of an empathetic heart because I know that I would lose my shit in this house. We give up this. We give up our friendships. We give up to be in this Big Brother house. We give up any kind of normalcy. The game is designed to make you paranoid, to make you give good TV, to make you not fully yourself. If you are someone who isn't used to being alone with their own thoughts, if you haven't processed all this stuff, if you're not that great socially, and then you go into a house and you don't connect with someone on a personal level and you don't feel a connection and you're 11 days in, you might lose your shit a little bit. 3 days in, you might lose your shit a little bit. Okay, we don't know how she copes. Your coping mechanisms are basically gone. If you are not a fully evolved, fantastic human who knows how to self-soothe, you're probably going to have a losing your shit moment. You're going to stay in bed a little too much. You're going to eat more than you would. You're going to find some way to self-soothe. I know some people are self-actualized and they meditate and shit, but not all of us are there. So I think that's what we're getting with Mirai Nagasu. I think there's just part of her personality, and she could, not be the best at the social game part, which she's showing. She's not. Thanks, Miranda. Shout out to Miranda, the new mommy. Well, the second time mommy, because we got little Amelia and you're breastfeeding. Yay. So I have a lot of empathy for Mirai Nagasu because to get to the level she is at in sports in the Olympics, I feel as though there's a lot that is left not given to kids in that situation. And then when they become adults, they're missing some of the stuff that we all got. And then just being in that house overall is a total mind fuck. And it is on purpose. Okay. I love Up and Adam. Yay. Yes, we love Up and Adam. This is an Up and Adam fan channel. We're fans of Up and Adam. So watching Mariah Nagasu, my heart hurt a little bit because I adore her quirkiness and stuff, and I adore that she's playing with rocks and making a freaking pillow fort. If that's what you got to do to get through your day, then do it. Now, Shayna Mokler had a moment where she checked in on her and she was like, "Are you okay, Mariah?" Because Shayna and Carson they're worried for her. They're like, right now she's on a high and we think there's going to be a low soon. So maybe there's a little bit of like manic behavior going on. This is just me. I'm just guessing at this point. I have no proof other than watching her behavior. So, she's like, "Are you okay?" And Mariah's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then she was just making these faces that were actually pretty funny. When Shayna walked away, and it's just, imagine your worst day and it's filmed. The things that I say or do when I don't think anyone is, just to get it out, to be like, whatever, okay. You do those kind of things. She's just doing it while the camera's watching. It's not like she's being like a horrible, hateful racist. She's just literally being like, okay, thanks a lot. You're in a game where you can't trust anyone. Everyone's whispering. So I think the paranoia is getting to her. I don't think she has her normal coping mechanism skills. And if you're always working towards, Olympic greatness, I know she's retired now at the age of 28, but, she might not fully be able to handle this situation. So I totally understand. And my heart goes out to her, but also it was entertaining because she's just being freaking human. She's like, "I'm going to stay in this room. I can't trust anyone else out there. I'm going to play with the rocks. I'm going to make a pillow fort. And when you come in here and ask me how I'm doing, I'm going to go, I'm great. And then when you walk away, I'm going to make a face, because that is what's getting me through the day right now." And so it's definitely quirky behavior, definitely things going on with Mariah Nagasu. But nothing that is like super, I don't think. I mean, again, I'm not a professional in, psychiatry or anything, but I think that we're just seeing what we see a lot of times in Big Brothers. Sometimes you put people in this house with cameras watching them and you take away their creature comforts and you take away the things that they use to soothe themselves and turn their brains off, their phones, the food, the friends, the TVs. You're alone with yourself. You're really going to find out how you've been coping with shit all these years. Okay. Gregory says she had multiple coaches and had to overcome being snubbed during the Olympic year. In 2014, she came back stronger and made it to the 2018 Olympic team with that triple axel at a geriatric 24 years old in skating. Yes. So she's amazing. And so I don't want to, I don't want to be part of some kind of Mariah Nagasu's crazy. I don't think she's crazy. I think if anything, I relate to what's going on with her. At 28, I'll share my 28th year with you guys, and it'll make Mariah Nagasu, it'll make her feel better. Again, I think psychological tests are very important. They're not going to catch everything, though. They're not, because again, imagine all the things you do in your day to distract you from your own brain. Count how much we as individuals, and some people more so than other, I would say Eric Nees from the Real World New York probably does it the most. Count how long you think a day. You sit alone with yourself, not sleeping, with your thoughts, with nothing to distract you, not a TV, not a phone, not a friend, not anything. Just you and your thoughts. Probably not that much, And who knows, after what we've seen exactly with the gymnast, I don't want to put any shit on her, but who knows what happens sometimes with these athletes and stuff. So yeah. Okay. So moving on from that, it was a funny morning with Mariah. Just like, yeah, great. I think, and overall, I think she's just like, these people, I can't relate to them, And Shayna's like, well, you're not missing much. They're talking about the Super Bowl. And Mariah's like, yeah, I don't care about the Super Bowl. I really don't. And Shayna's like, okay, just want to make sure. Okay. She's like, yeah, I'm just making rock formations in the sauna. What's not normal about that? Thank you. That's basically what she was doing. All right. And she said, oh, I'm doing great. And when Shayna walked away, Mariah said, oh, you said you could be trustworthy. And I watched you walk straight up to the HOH room. See nothing, say nothing, hear nothing. Celebrity Big Brother, cancel culture. And then Mariah laughed and she says, what are these rocks here for? And then, so it was interesting. So she just was saying, She brought up cancel culture, and I think there's a definite age gap. And so the things that these people are talking about, she's like, you can't say that. And it's like, but they do. But they do. Okay. All right. Okay, you guys. So then while she's doing this, I'll tell you, I would start making rock formations and giving people dirty looks, because on the feeds, if I have to hear Chris Kirkpatrick and Misha Tate talk about freaking health and food anymore, I'm going to just smash myself with a rock. Okay, you guys, because the feeds are alive with them talking about food. I feel like all Misha Tate, because that's her life, can talk about is her food prep. And then Chris Kirkpatrick wants to, all the guys want to lose a couple LBs. Todd Bridges already lost a couple LBs being in the house because Misha's like, don't drink pop. Don't have sugar. Yeah. How many sugar grams does that pickle have? 5 grams? I mean, that's not horrible. I was like, oh my gosh. And at the same time, Chris Kirkpatrick's talking about bread and butter pickles. So why Mariah, if you're wondering why Mariah maybe doesn't have anything to talk about, because at the same time on the live feeds, Chris Kirkpatrick is having a full-on conversation with everybody about bread and butter pickles. And then Todd Bridges, Cynthia, and Lamar are talking about, I remember when we just had 5, 7, 9, and 11 for channels. And, the limited channels. And they were talking about Barney Miller, the TV show. No, Nana would have loved that conversation. But Mariah Nagasso at 28, it's like, who the frick? Barney, the purple dinosaur that's even before my time? I love you, you love me? No? Okay, I don't know what you're talking about. They're talking about old-ass TV shows, bread and butter pickles, the sugar count and shit, and, channels. Now, I'd be interested in the TV stuff, maybe not Barney Miller, but I could see why she was, I'm just saying I could see why she was back there hiding in a pillow fort, because I was like, Chris Kirkpatrick, we got it. Bread and butter pickles. Okay. Misha Tate, we got it. Food prep. There's nothing more boring than when we get someone on the show. And I know that's her life and more power to her. But it is like when they talk about their diet and they talk about their working out, it's just like every CrossFit nightmare I have for the upcoming seasons of Big Brother, that they're only going to cast those CrossFit douchebags and who are just like, I gotta get some gains, I gotta work out. And you're like, oh my God, I can't watch the feeds and just watch you work out. First of all, it makes me feel bad for not working out. And second of all, it's annoying. I don't want to hear about this all the time. This isn't the fitness channel, but that's their life, So I'm just saying, I understand what she might be going through. So Chris Kirkpatrick and Shayna keep saying they've fallen on a sword. So this is the one thing that really is getting talked about a lot. That narrative that they have spread about Shayna and themselves to Misha and Todrick whenever they push for, like, maybe we should go after Carson. Maybe we should backdoor Carson. Maybe we should do something with Carson. Don't you think Carson is a huge threat? Did you see Carson's shirt? It was a pretty nice shirt. I mean, not everyone can have those shirts. Carson. They basically are going to Misha and Todrick and saying, well, we fell on a sword for you, especially Shayna last week with the vote and getting Teddy out. So the same way you want Teddy, or you wanted Teddy out, is the same way I want Mariah out. But they want to keep Mariah because right now, Mariah technically is in Misha's pocket, in that she's made a lot of deals with Misha in order to stay. And they want Mariah to win something and possibly go after Carson and Cynthia. But I don't know if Mariah will do what they want her to do. I think at this point, she's playing the game and saying what she needs to say. But I don't know. Say what you mean to say what you need to do. And then I caught the screen grab of Chris Kirkpatrick giving the middle finger. So it was pretty amazing. And it could be edibles. All this behavior just could be edibles. We don't know. We don't know, you guys. Okay. Yeah. I love you. You love me. We're a dysfunctional family. That's the definition of Big Brother. Yes, Misha is an MMA fighter, and she's trying to currently drop weight. So that's a big deal for a fight, I believe, in May. She was in the 135 weight class, and now she's trying to drop down. That's all we hear about. And I'm like, oh my God, bring a book. Like, she's always juicing. She's always spinaching, and she's always game. And this has been bad for Misha's game overall, because the other celebrities, mainly the women, Cynthia and Shayna, have noticed that all Misha talks about and all she does, and Carson as well, is game. She's game all the time. There is a fine you have to have a balance with this shit, So I don't think Misha has the balance. I also don't think Cynthia and Carson have the balance because they're kind of like, we just want to have a good experience, even though they're these huge strategic threats at the moment, They do have a strategy, but they're not always living in their strategy. Misha Tate is kill, kill, kill. She's like, kill the spinach, kill the sparring doll in the gym, kill my opponents, get to the end. She's a trained fighter, and that's where her mind goes. So I can understand, but it's boring. I need a pickle too, Monica. Yes, exactly. That's why she's not happy. Maybe she's a very nice person. She's just hungry. Have you ever been really hungry? I'm not bitchy. I'm just hungry. If I'm ever in a bad mood, I'm sort of like, oh my God, Jolene's being a bitch. I'm not being a bitch. Give me a candy bar, shove a Snickers in my mouth, and I will be the nicest lady you've ever met in your life. But if I'm hungry, God help you. God help you. Okay. But yeah, she's showing very little emotion. She's trained. She's just always punching stuff. And she's always working out and dropping down and sneaking under stuff. And Todrick, aka Trick, is just watching her like, that's amazing. And that's what they're doing on the feet. So I would rather watch Mariah make rock sculptures than I would this stuff. Yes, she's hangry. She's hangry. She's hangry. She's hangry. Thank you, realification. Misha is equal to purple hair, pretty much. Purple hair. I forgot what was her name, Natalie, from Celebrity Big Brother 2. Kind of similar, I would say that, but Misha's even less. She's less emotion. She's just like, here's what we're doing. Her delivery, she's a solo sport athlete, and she kicks people's asses. That's what she does. She literally is like, oh, I'm just gonna smash your face in now. She said she like broke her orbital bone or something in her eye. I didn't even know that we had an orbital bone. And she said it's as thin as, I think, an eggshell. And I was like, dang. I mean, I do think I remember on The Real World Austin, that guy got punched in the face and he broke that. So maybe I have heard of it before, but holy shit. So she's a whole different type of person. I mean, she's not going to have anything in common with Cynthia Bailey. Cynthia Bailey was like, I can't wait for dinner. It's going to be so nummy. Like Cynthia, I get her. She's a housewife. I watched her. I enjoy her. She's like, I got a new beanie. I got some lip gloss. I'm sleepy. That, I understand that. But Misha Tate, she's like, eat, punch, love, country. I don't know. Okay. She broke her personality bone. Maybe she did. All right. So okay. So let's see. What else do I have here for you guys? All right. So Todd, okay, here's a funny little update. Todd Bridges, God love him. God love him in the Vans that he wears that I know for sure were supplied by Celebrity Big Brother because it just doesn't look like his fashion, but it works for him. Okay, so Lil Toodles, aka Todd Bridges. I'm trying to see if I have a screen grab of Toddy. How come I don't have a screen grab of hot Toddy? Well, what the heck, Joleen? What's going on with you? Okay, so I guess we'll just have to. Who's in this one? Let's see. Nope, that's Mariah again. Mariah, she does feel safe, it seems, with Chris Kattan. Okay, so I guess we'll just keep this screenshot up. Okay, so Toodles. Chris Kirkpatrick was able to get Toodles to admit that he has a final two with Misha Tate. And Kirk and Shayna now know. Chris Kirkpatrick and Shayna. And this is what Toodles does. This is his game, okay? Little chicken legs, little chicken yeggies. He does have somewhat of a strategy. It's not like he's just sleeping, not doing anything, for sure. No. He's very entertaining on the feeds with him and Lamar, and he does have a little bit of a strategy. The problem is he tells everyone everything, and then he speaks when he doesn't have to speak. So he'll say, oh, this happened because of this. And people know, like Shayna knows, but she's not going to say it because her strategy is you don't want to say everything. So Chris Kirkpatrick pretty easily got him to be like, no, me and Misha got a final two. So Misha basically is just making final twos like nobody's business. And these guys are obsessed with Misha. Okay. And a big part of that is because before they got into the house, they were fans of hers. So Chris Kirkpatrick and Todd Bridges, they were like, oh my God, we watch her fight. We love fighting. We love blood. And this is amazing, So, and the same thing kind of now with Todrick, aka Trick, he's a fan of hers. So Todd Bridges and Chris Kirkpatrick, they're like enamored with her. So basically she can do no wrong, especially to Todd Bridges. So my thing is, Chris Kirkpatrick, you're the HOH. You could totally get rid of her. She's going to be a problem down the road for you in your game with Shayna because she's not your final two. Misha's all in with Trick and then Todd Bridges secondary. But I think Todd Bridges thinks he's Misha's Trick. He's Misha's Todrick, and he's not. But she's making these deals because she knows she has these dudes in the palm of her hand. They're all like, what do you eat? That's amazing. Okay. What does it feel like to punch someone? Oh, it's so cool. So cool, dude. They just follow her around. They're like, how much can you lift on your boobs? Oh, just kidding. No, they don't sexually harass her. But I'm just saying they're just like enamored. Like, what's it like rolling on the floor? And Trick is the same way. He just watches her. He's like, whoa, you're so amazing. They're enamored. Like, what do you eat now, Misha? More spinach? Cool. What do you do now, Misha? Oh, you're punching stuff? Awesome. That's how they are. They're like fangirling her, and it's working for her strategy. However, it's not working with the women because the women are like, we don't like her. Cynthia Bailey she went off today, and it was pretty amazing to watch. So she was in the chocolate bedroom, which is where all the good stuff happens. Okay. And she's there with Carson and Shayna, and she was talking about Misha, and she's like, I've just had it. We got to get rid of her because, she is not making this experience enjoyable. Carson and Shayna both agree. They're like, we're so happy Chris Kirkpatrick is at least HOH because, we feel comfortable going in his room and using the shower. Misha was like, no invites. You're not invited. I don't know you. She locked the door. She went to bed at 9. She took her supplements. She slept with her supplements. She's like, you can't come in here. And now Chris Kirkpatrick's like, come on in, everybody. You can wash your boobs in my room. And so they're very happy about that. And I think they wanted this to be kind of more of a summer camp experience. And Misha Tate's like, no, I'm here to eat your skulls. Like that's what I do. And so Cynthia is done now. She's like, listen, her and Carson are like the couple times that Misha says, just talks to us here and there, and gives us little pleasantries. It's not worth it. Like she basically, she doesn't talk any game with us. She's not very friendly. She's not welcoming. She's very standoffish. She doesn't pick up after herself in the kitchen. Everyone's kissing her ass. She's being kind of rude. I don't care for her. And Cynthia's like, I'm done. And Shayna said, maybe you want to just keep it down. They can hear the wall. Cynthia's like, I don't care. I'm at that point in the game. She goes, I don't give an F. I don't give an F. I'll come for her. If she's not, I think I tweeted exactly what Cynthia said on the feeds, you guys. It was pretty amazing. Well, actually, I think I might have the voice. I might have the voice recording of it. Okay, so here we go. Let me play it. Let me know if you guys can hear this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. All right. Hold up. All right. Here we go.
I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me.
Okay. Shayna was like, we want to whisper. They can hear us.
Whisper because they're right there. I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me. Okay. 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 That's where we at right now.
Yes, honey.
It's a new day.
They're fired up.
I'm saying the people that have treated me right in here, I'm going to let them know.
Because I felt this way since like the third day.
Whisper because they're right there. I don't even give a fuck. Okay. They can hear me.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's where we at right now.
Yes, honey.
It's a new day.
They're fired up.
I'm saying the people that have treated me right in here, I'm going to let them know.
Because I felt this way since like the third day.
She's like, I don't even give a fuck. Okay. This is where we're at right now. And yes, just like Kath is saying, Misha didn't offer them food. So that's another thing. They think she's inconsiderate. They think she only takes care of the men. They think she's a guy's girl. And Shayna's like, listen, I get along with dudes well too. And I don't have a ton of girlfriends, but I don't treat women as badly as I feel Misha treats women. So Misha allegedly made some kind of hamburgers, and everyone's like, oh, it's so good. She's like, Lamar, are you okay? You need a hamburger? And he's like, oh yeah. And she made some kind of food. I think it was hamburgers. And Cynthia sat there and she wasn't offered a hamburger. Well, 50 Cent has been activated. If you watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta, you know what I'm talking about. It's 50 Cent. Once she turned 50, she was like, I'm 50 Cent. And now, 50 Cynthia, and she's been activated. Ultimate Girls Trip Cynthia is in full activation mode. She was like, You didn't share your food? She goes, I do your makeup. Yeah, you helped me with my my suitcase. Appreciate that. You got super strength. But other than that, she goes, if I would have made, I would have ran to the storage room to go make her something. So it's these little things that Misha is not picking up on. And what Misha doesn't realize, she can get to the end, she can get to final 2, that's fine. But these people aren't going to vote for you because your social game sucks. You have to just a little bit, a couple acts of kindness here and there. Share the hamburger. That's how little you have to do. Chris Kirkpatrick was talking about this on the feeds last night. He was like, this game is crazy. You know, it can come down to not doing your dishes. And that's what it is, especially with celebrity. It's a shorter season. They don't really know the game. They didn't really watch any seasons. So they're like, I don't like her. I'm not voting for her. Teddy Mellencamp is already out there being like, Todrick, you're in trouble. So she was on her own. I wanted to upload these, but I didn't get time, you guys. So apologies. We can just hear the audio. So she was on her own social media. And here's what she said about Todrick.
So now that I'm actually watching, the fact that Todrick not only turned on me, he turned on Carson. It's coming to you, buddy. It's coming to you. You're not gonna like when I'm the juror. Right, Dove?
And then to oh my God. So Teddy has been on her social media posting stuff, and she was watching the live eviction, or she was rewatching it, and they're going to be bitter AF. So you better make some connections. The littlest things. If you're making a hamburger and you're like, this hamburger's so good, so tasty, it's the best hamburger ever. Would you like a hamburger, Lamar? Would you like a hamburger, Todd? Chris Kirkpatrick, would you like a hamburger? All the boys, all the penises have eaten. Okay. You better ask the vaginas too. You got to ask all the body parts. You got to ask all the people. You have to do that. That's just what you have to do if you want to win this game. You can't be this hard ass. You cannot. Yes, Teddy's like, it's coming to you. She's big mad. So Todrick has got, Todrick's best bet is it's him and Misha at the end, because he'll get votes over Misha, I think, at this point, with how she's behaving. But yeah, other than that, he's in trouble. Sharing is caring. It's the little things. You're living with these people, okay? And they're going to be voting, and they're going to be watching you from home. So there you go. Okay. Let's see. Shayna and Carson, I already said that Mariah is on a high, but there's going to be a low, and that they were worried about that, and they feel for her. Lamar has a nickname for Shayna. Now, I don't want to say I called it, but I freaking called it, you guys. There's a good chance. Again, I'm projecting a little bit, but there's a good chance that little Lammy might be crunching on Shayna. And I did call this. I said, there's going to be some kind of thing going on. He told Cynthia was laying in bed, and she was like, hey, Shayna, did you know that Lamar has a nickname for you? Yeah. He asked me, where's Strawberry Shortcake? And then he said, tell her I said hi and I miss her. And if you don't know, Lamar is a ladies' man in the house. And by ladies' man, I mean, he just talks about the ladies. Okay. And he's also, crushing on Carson Kressley as well. But he did make him Kraft mac and cheese. And anyone who makes me Kraft mac and cheese in a box, you have my heart as well. Okay. Doesn't take much. My expectations are very low. But Lamar is, he's mentioned, I mean, he's sleep deprived. He, he's dealing with black toenails. Apparently, that could be some kind of athlete's foot, but that's what Mariah and Todrick were saying. And so the same way he's ripping on Todd Bridges' legs, Todd and other house guests and Todrick are ripping on his toenails, because apparently they're black. I don't know. That usually would mean maybe they're dead or going to fall off or something. I'm not sure. I'm not a toenail expert, but they were very worried about athlete's foot. So they all got slides from Big Brother, and Todrick's been spraying his feet with stuff and putting, hydrogen peroxide. I was going to say hydrogen peroxide, hydrogen crap on his feet. And then Lamar put his feet on Todrick's bed. And oh my God, Todrick brought some spray stuff over and sprayed his feet and was like, I'm just in case. And then he ended up laying in, Misha Tate's bed next to him right away, because I think he was like, I'm going to have to wash my sheets, because they're very, very worried about fungus. Oh, it could be frostbite. Yeah, it could be frostbite. Yes. Yes. Yes, that is going on as well. Catan has stated that he wants to leave, but they're not talking about it. They're not supposed to talk about it on the feeds because they're trying to, protect image stuff. Okay. So yeah, there's a lot of feet stuff going on. I don't think it's diabetes, Jacqueline, but yes, hit the like. Funky feet. There's funky feet going on. So, but Lamar is kind of, I've seen him follow with his eyes Shayna around the house. And, he's got a type, and Shayna's not too far off from that type if we're looking at the Chloes and the booties and stuff like that. So, could work. And then Shayna's like, oh my God, that's so silly. And Cynthia's like, yeah, I thought, wow, we're going to use that to our advantage when we try to get him to help us with voting who, we want out, going after Todrick and Misha. But I'm just saying, I might have called this one. They haven't done anything, and Shayna has a whole boyfriend who's like a model, but you never know. Stranger things have happened in the Big Brother house, you guys. So little strawberry shortcake Shayna. And then she was hanging out with Lamar today and with her crystals because they were like, Shayna, are you a witch? It was like Todd and Lamar, because she was talking about crystals and energy and different things. And she goes, oh, like Wiccan? No, I'm not Wiccan. I was raised Catholic. And Misha's like, me too. And she did more spinach. But it was just kind of funny that she's like, no, I'm not a witch. They're just like laughing. And so then she introduced Lamar to her crystals, and she had one where you kind of hold it. I don't know a ton about crystals. I should. I lived in LA long enough, and everybody's got a crystal in their hoo-ha there. But it was spinning, and the more it spins, you can ask it questions. And then the more it spins is like a yes. So he was like, is my name Lamar Odom? And he was like, wow, it's amazing. Am I going to get married again? So he's trying to connect with her, and he's like, whatever you like, Shayna, I like. And I was like, I'm just saying, Shayna does have a thing against the Kardashians now, and she did call Chloe a donkey, and Kourtney is marrying her ex-husband, Travis Barker. And she did say that she made a reference to Kim Kardashian today. Something like, I wouldn't even do that if Kim Kardashian was on the block, or something like that. I'm paraphrasing, but you never know. You never know. Okay. So Todd, again, trying to say he threw the competition. Cynthia said he didn't throw the competition. Like I said earlier, he just wasn't good at it, and he didn't understand the rules. So they thought he didn't understand the rules. Like he thought it was good to get a bad score. So, oh, see, Lamar said if he saw Shayna in the club, he'd be like, ooh, wee. So now it's up to Shayna. I mean, that'd keep him in the house. I don't know. She seems to really like her boyfriend, but maybe he was like, whatever you got to do for strategy. Some people have understandings. I don't know those people. I'm not one of those people, but some people have understandings. Yes. Big Brother Frostbite. What a wonderful first. Yeah. But right? It could be. It could be. Maybe he was out that LA cold. They like to say it's freezing in here. Freezing. So cold. Yes. Oh my gosh. Your new drag name. I love it. Crystal Hoo-Ha. Should be. I'm from Studio City, California, and my name is Crystal Hoo-Ha. And that is exactly what it is. It's those egg things that Gwyneth Paltrow tells you to put in your vagine. And that's how you're successful. All right. So what else, you guys, do I need to tell you? Mariah. Okay. So Mariah, in all her I'm loving how sassy she is. And she's upset. She's on the block. She's making faces. She's making pillow forts. You can tell she's visibly annoyed with her fellow house guests. She walks by, says something about meditating. Chris Kirkpatrick was like, oh, you meditate? You're going to meditate? She was like, yeah. If by meditate, you mean sleep. I like Chris Kattan's, because he's like, how often do you meditate? And she goes, I meditate like Chris Kattan meditates, because Chris Kattan always makes the joke that when he's sleeping, he's not really sleeping, he's meditating, And so Mariah was saying that in like a sassy way to Chris Kirkpatrick. And then she walked away and he was like, oh. And then she said, oh, if you're asking, she goes, and then she was away and she just kind of yelled out. She goes, if you're asking me if I meditate in the real world, the answer is no. I don't know. I find her freaking endearing and entertaining. And as long as she's okay and she's just a little, sass, I'm fine with it. Okay. This is her number one ally at the time. Her number one ally is dead. She's hanging out with a bunch of old boomers talking about Barney Miller. She's bored as fuck. She was creeped out by some of the dudes. I don't know. I understand her. Okay. What else do you guys have to know going on in this house? All right, let's talk a little more strategy. Those are the notes I have from today's live feeds. It was a lot of napping. It was a lot of Mariah making forts and making snarky comments. It was a lot of Chris Kattan playing dead. It was a lot of Lamar Odom being like, where's strawberry shortcake? Who wants to look at my black toenails? It was a lot of Todrick Hall falling asleep and then waking up staring at Misha. There was a fun little threesome, I will say, in Todrick's bedroom, but in Misha Tate's bed. After Lamar had put his foot on his bed, he started cuddling with Misha, and then Carson joined, and Todrick looked so pleased. Trick was so happy. He was like, oh, and Carson was talking about his horses because apparently he is, he rides horses. He's got horses. He knows about horses. He went to South Africa for horses. And then Todd Bridges is like, oh, what year did you go to South Africa? So he was talking about horses, and I don't know much about horses, you guys. So I sound like an idiot talking about horses. Their demeanor, I don't know. Their attitudes, their tails, they're shiny. I don't know. He was talking about that. And they're having a conversation. But Todrick just wanted to cuddle. So I just think he doesn't hate Carson. He's definitely playing him dirty. What should have happened is Todrick, aka Trick, should have just teamed up with Carson. Make yourself. I feel like Todrick has this thing where he's like, well, they didn't show me the love that I think I deserve. So I'm against you, but I secretly want to wear your skin, but really it would have been epic if they both would have teamed up, if there wouldn't have been this competitive nature right off the bat. And I think it's just more from Todrick. I kind of think Carson would have went forward with the formation, but it was Trick who was like, no, I'm not getting the vibes I want. Things didn't really go my way. I don't like Teddy being added, and I feel like you're more loyal to Teddy. And I don't really think Carson was initially going to be more loyal to Teddy at all. That's how it worked out. And then Trick started hanging out with Misha Tate nonstop. So it just doesn't make much sense. But he was cuddling with Carson and pulling him close. And I'm just like, somebody wants daddy's attention. Somebody wants daddy's love. And so I was just getting the screenshots of them cuddling. And they're like, Misha, you okay? She's like, I'm okay. I'm going to go eat some spinach. And then she goes and eats some spinach. And I don't know why that's my voice for Misha Tate. It just is. Okay. Because we're silly. We're having a good time. And don't beat me up. But she's like, I like when Trick is paying attention to me, but I guess this is okay. So the three of them just kind of laid in bed. So it's just a lazy Sunday. They're all wondering, why can't we do the veto? They thought they would do the power of veto competition today, but they're not. Everything's going to happen tomorrow. And then we have a live eviction. I think a live veto and a live veto ceremony. Maybe I don't know if they'll have time to pre-tape the veto. We'll see. I can't remember because we took such a long break from Celebrity, but they did this similarly on the last season of Celebrity. So it's just different, but I love that. I'm coming to realize, and I never thought I'd say this, but I think our Big Brother season's too long. Our regular Big Brother, I think they need to condense it like they do Celebrity, not 30 days, but maybe even 60 days. Get the game moving faster because I love this. There's barely time to think. And we're getting so much goodness on the feeds and people, otherwise you're just watching the show for 90 plus days and there's just weeks of them sitting around. And by the time you watch the episode, you've watched the feeds and nothing is a surprise and nothing is interesting and it's all old news. So I think we should condense it, speed up Big Brother. Okay. Make me a producer because we got to speed this shit up. It goes way too slow. Maybe 2 HOHs a week, maybe double the people in the house, 2 HOHs a week, and just boom, 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 boom. Survivor style or something. Yes, 45 days would be great. But this 90-day shit, I used to think I loved it, but it's taken too long and it's not that interesting. And there's so many weeks where it's just so boring. And this is very interesting. And things are happening, constantly moving, changing. And it's really expect the unexpected, where we haven't really seen a season of regular Big Brother expect the unexpected in a long time. So there you go. And tomorrow's an hour. It's not even a 2-hour episode. And we got to do all this. Holy shit. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. Yeah, let's get those likes up, you guys. We got a 300 like goal to hit. All right. So there was lots of just nappy poos. You know, Todd Bridges took a little nappy with his BFF, Lammy, upstairs. Chris Kirkpatrick is just all in. Teddy, shout out to Teddy Mellencamp. He's all in on Misha's meal plan. He's like, my wife's going to love you because I'm going to lose some LBs. What are we eating today, Mish? So Cynthia Bailey's like, I'm not all in. I'm going to eat some M&Ms. I'm going to have Todd Bridges' chicken that he made. He made his famous chicken. Everybody loved it, except for Misha, Misha didn't eat it, and Mariah kind of picked around it. She didn't really like it. So it was kind of a lazy Sunday, but definite game talk going on. At this point, Mariah has to win the power of veto if she really wants to stay in this house. Now, Chris Kirkpatrick and Shayna have been talking about what they would do, because they're, a duo, if Mariah wins the POV, which I think would make it really interesting. And they're going back and forth. At first, it was like, we'll throw Lamar up, Chris Kattan goes. But now Misha and Todrick are like, well, if you're not going to go for Carson, maybe throw Cynthia up, make Cynthia a pawn. But Chris Kirkpatrick's afraid, like, well, I don't want Cynthia to go. So what if they flip and vote her out because he wants to use Cynthia and Carson to go after Misha and Todrick so he doesn't have to. That's his strategy at this point. But again, I'm just like, okay, cool strategy, bro, if we had a whole summer ahead of us. But we don't. We got to condense time. You're the HOH now. Make a power move. Backdoor one of these big players. Break up the two duos that are your biggest competition. And in my opinion, I would go after Misha. I don't care. I know Chris Kirkpatrick's never going to do it because he's such a big fan of hers and she's meal planning with him right now. But cut her. She has all the final two deals. She's got all the dudes are kissing her ass, including Chris Kirkpatrick. But this would be a great time. So I think Shayna wanted that to happen, and Carson and Cynthia want that to happen. But Shayna goes back and forth. And I don't know how much of that is her strategy of just hearing everybody out and what she truly, truly wants. But I do think if Shayna had it her way, I think she would want him to get rid of Misha. Because then that frees up Todrick and we'll see where he lands. And then you take out a big competition threat. You take out someone who's boring in the house and everyone's just like, we don't really enjoy her. Or I should say the other women, because the guys kind of enjoy her, most of the guys. And you take out someone who's got deals with a bunch of people and is going to be a competition to you. But then there's the other argument where if she gets to the end and we do have this jury that is not necessarily going to be a bitter juror, but going to be like, I didn't like her, enjoy her, and she didn't strategize with me, so I'm not voting for her. You might have a good chance to win against her. So it's up in the air. Seth Chris says, I'm in the minority here, but I'm a big Misha fan. And you know what? Fantastic. That's the great thing about this game. You're not wrong. You're not freaking wrong. At this point, I'm fine with Misha going. I like that she's strong. I like that she's strategic, but I watch this show as the fan in me wants to watch more entertainment than I do food prep. But it is kind of cool that she's like a badass and just doesn't care. She's like, oh yeah, you have feelings? Never heard of them. I don't know. She urinates on your feelings. I feel like if she could, she would stand and pee on people's feelings. That's my comedic take on it. And as he should. That's why you get husbands, to feed you M&Ms for your PMS. Okay. I bathe in M&Ms for my PMS. So there you go. M&Ms are the best. I'm here for anyone going after Todrick and Misha as well. Or I would literally get rid of Todrick. Take him out. I honestly, this is going to sound crazy, but I don't know. I feel like it's going to get to the end and be Todrick versus Carson. I feel like that's what the producers kind of want, these two friends. So it's like the opposite of what happened with Candy and Tamar, where they were able to make up and then Tamar goes on to win and Candy helps her. But it's going to be like two people came in knowing each other, respecting each other. Now they're going head to head, these two titans, and Carson being the, more fan friendly, where people are really enjoying Carson on this show. And Todrick kind of came in at a disadvantage because he had I didn't know how many people he had hating on him on Twitter. Holy shit. People call him like Fraudrick and stuff. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon because I don't know enough about all this Fraudrick stuff. I just like to call him Trick. But I know a lot of people are not a fan. But some people, like them both. And Randy says, hey, I'm not a fan. This season is so great. Honestly, I wish we could keep these people until the summer. I wish they would just lock up the Big Brother house right now and just keep all these people till the summer, because this cast has been better than most of the civilian casts we get. We don't have a ton of vote with the house shit going on. We got sides. We got little pairings. We got, Shayna playing different sides. And it's not this group think. So I'm enjoying that. Lamar and Todd Bridges could go to final 2 if they play the division. Exactly. Moesha Stan account. Exactly. I don't think they will. Lamar, he was like, you have to stay till the end to win. Chris Kirkpatrick had to explain the rules to him on the live feeds. So I don't think that's going to happen. Todd Bridges, he's trying to be strategic, but he's not executing it the way I think he hopes he would execute it. He's sharing too much. He's saying too much. And he's not playing this like chess. He's not one step ahead. He's not thinking one step ahead, really. So, I don't think he's reading the room as well as he hopes to be. But that would be really cool if those two dudes could somehow play both sides. And like you said, play the division in the house. Perfect. But right now, Chris Kirkpatrick seems to want to do that despite him being a part of the division. It's really interesting. Seth Chris says, it's so cool to watch Misha juggle strategy as well as working out and dieting so she can move down a UFC, right? And that can't be easy by any stretch of the imagination. I don't enjoy watching workout stuff and on the live feeds and this food prep. And it's got to be so hard for her to be in that house and do this. So her commitment is commendable, amazingly commendable. But I need her to be able to live a little. I can't just have her, counting pieces of spinach. I just need more. And I feel like she could give more, but she has this huge thing she has to do, move down 10 pounds from this weight class, but still remain strong and strength. And I don't know nothing about that. I can gain weight, but I don't know how to move down weight classes. So I don't know. So Brooke says, I caught the Todrick miss. He's very beautiful. He's very beautiful. So is Lamar? No, I don't listen. Lamar's not stupid, but I just think he didn't really watch the game. And I don't think he's pretending. He could be playing it up a little, but I think he came on the show to sell his book and get Khloe Kardashian back. And now he likes hanging out with Willis, a.k.a. Todd Bridges, and showing off his black toenail. I think that's kind of what he likes. And now he's maybe going to try to hook up with Strawberry Shortcake. We don't know. Yes, Lamar's ignorance in this game and just his candidness kind of gives me life as well. Just says stuff. There's a whole thread on Twitter, Lamar-isms, and it's pretty great. It's pretty great, you guys. So that's basically what's going on tomorrow. Mariah has to win if she wants to stay. If not, we could see a Cynthia replacement. And that is going to, if Chris Kirkpatrick does that, that would be going against, he shouldn't do that because that's going against his whole strategy of trying to play these two sides against each other, because heaven forbid they vote out Cynthia and then you don't have Carson with you and you don't have that other duo to go after, another powerful duo, which is what you said you wanted your strategy to be, Chris Kirkpatrick. So I think he should probably just put up Lamar or something as a pawn. And then I think most people will vote out Chris Kattan, but I also don't want Chris Kattan to leave. I just don't want anyone. Yeah, unfortunately, Todrick got game advice from Tommy Bracco. They're good friends. And I was watching Jessica Milagros on Girl Let's Agree to Disagree, and she was making some great points about it being very clear that Todrick got some gaming stuff from Tommy, because similar to how Tommy felt at a disadvantage having Christy in the house, rather than using that to his advantage or recognizing what an advantage that was, is the same way Todrick is doing Carson. So again, Todrick, he should have worked harder to team up with Carson, or he should have had, the most epic thing would have been if Todrick would have came in the house and him and Carson would have had this secret final two and pretended to be going for each other. But in the end, they were going to be the final two all along. That would be epic, but it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Mariah gives good face, and that makes good television. Why? Why on earth would he do that? I don't know why he would do that to Queen Cynthia. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah. So hopefully, Big Brother, there's a twist. The new twist, the Mon Juan twist, is they all get handed purses and they all are forced to stay through the summer, and we get Big Brother. They have to, once this season's over, they have to come back in the summer and play this again, knowing what they know now. Thank you, Cameron. Sarah says Todrick is trying to play the game with a bunch of people who just don't care or want to seriously strategize. It's just not working. And then he's teamed up with Misha Tate, who is always in strategy mode and needs to go into human mode sometimes. Like, she's a force for sure, but you have to soften up a little bit. Everybody has to, so that, you can get those votes for, the social aspect. Thank you. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. Bring Cynthia. Oh my God. Cynthia is ready to wreck the house. She's like, I want to win HOH, and I want to put up Todrick and Misha, and I don't give a F, and I don't care, and I'm sick of this shit. And she was just going off. Okay. And it was amazing. All right, you guys are amazing and wonderful. I hope you are having a wonderful rest of your Sunday, or if it's Monday where you are, happy Monday. I will be back tomorrow. I'll probably be doing a later live because I have my 90 Day with Nana that I do about 90 Day Fiance. So it'll be a late night one, kind of like Friday. Hopefully not that late, but it'll be later than the East. I'll probably watch it in the Mountain time zone, maybe. Yeah. So make sure you have your notification on. Make sure you smash the bell on my channel so you can get notified when I'm going live. And I will keep putting out my live feed spoiler updates. Thank you for showing those. So much love. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you follow me on the TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter. And let's continue to grow and have some fun. This is great. You guys are great. Thank you for the super chats. Thank you for the conversation. Shout out to all of my mods, and go get yourself some rest. Take care. Bye. If you like what you